Hello everyone, welcome to Lukman IAS. Today we have a very energetic and very young person with us, Miss Saloni Verma. She is the one who has qualified the Civil Services Examination 2020 with 70th rank this time. And she is a person who has graduated in humanities. Okay, and she is a very recent graduate. You can see like how charming she is and how energetic she is. So she'll talk about her preparation strategy for the civil services examination in this session. So Saloni, may I please ask like what was your preparation strategy for the civil services exam?
So if I start with the timing of it, I decided in the third year of college that I will be attempting this examination, and it has since then taken me around 2 years of preparation to get here. Strategy, the first step would be knowing the exam and knowing yourself. Knowing the exam means syllabus, previous year papers, etc. But knowing yourself is far more important. कि आप किस stage पे हैं, आप कितना जानते हैं, कितना नहीं. And then only was I able to begin the preparation properly.
All right. So when did you think of preparing for the exam for the first time?
I was a science student till school. So school के end में I realized that I need a career which is more directly related to societal issues, which is why I switched to humanities in college, and the final decision happened in third year of my college course.
Okay, all right. So what are the cadre selection that you have made for the civil services?
My first preference was the Agmat cadre, which is my home cadre, and second was Uttar Pradesh, and third was Madhya Pradesh.
Okay, all right. So she's a person who comes from Delhi, and her first preference is Agmat cadre, and she has preferred UP as well as MP. Okay, so like which services like are you interested to take up?
My first preference is the Indian Administrative Service, and I think I should be getting that. The second preference was the Indian Police Service.
Okay, all right. When it comes to GS paper 4, which is Ethics, Integrity and Aptitude, so many aspirants see it as the most difficult section, and at the same time there are other aspirants who see it as the most scoring one. So how do you look at GS paper 4 as such?
GS paper 4 is, in my opinion, a delight because usme there is the maximum scope for creative expression. There are no right and rules in the game, but yes, a few things you need to do. So I think it becomes tough because of how subjective it can be. But if certain guidelines are followed and certain things are done, then I think it's an easy and very enjoyable paper that I really enjoyed preparing for.
Okay, all right. And how do you see the essay paper? The essay paper like there are very less number of people who give dedicated preparation to essay. They think like if they are preparing for GS, their essay preparation goes on. So how was your strategy in preparing for essay?
So I studied English honors from Hindu College, and this is a humanities background, very oriented towards writing. But still I took the essay paper very seriously. Before prelims only I had written around 5-6 essays for practice, and after prelims I wrote another 3 to 4 essays. So I actually practiced quite a bit. Although what people suggest कि आप quotes का एक collection बनाइए, that you collect facts etc. I did not do that. I was just far more creative in my writing, so I hope that helped. And yeah.
Okay. So when it comes to answer writing, right? Many people think like we should start answer writing after prelims or maybe at the later stage of the preparation. At the same time, there are some people who start the answer writing practice from the beginning itself. So how you looked into answer writing thing, and when did you start your answer writing for the first time?
So for me, answer writing was one of the ways to be disciplined, because when I started preparing, I enrolled myself in a mains test series so that every 10 days I'm writing a test, and that can show me how well I'm studying or not. So I think everyone has a different answer to this. I did not do any daily answer writing, but yes, from the beginning only I was writing sectional tests at least, and when the syllabus was done adequately enough, then I moved to the full length tests later, around 6 months into preparation.
Okay, all right. And if we talk about the prelims preparation, so like did you practice test on a regular basis, or like you relied on reading the content and revising the content? Like what was your preparation strategy for the prelims exam?
So in my Humble experience. I think prelims firstly needs covering the content, at least the bare minimum. So from June till December 2019, I was just studying. I was not doing any tests. After I thought I have adequately covered the syllabus, from January 2020 till the time of prelims, I did a lot of tests. Must have done around 80 to 90 tests throughout. So that was really helpful.
Okay. So what do you think, like how the test papers help people in qualifying the prelims exam?
Multiple ways. In fact, just right now the cutoff for this year's prelims came out. It is 92, showing that the nature of the paper is becoming increasingly unpredictable. And I think in that sense, practice really helps. Developing intuition, developing elimination strategies. And for me, frankly, it gave me confidence. When I would do well, I would feel confident. And I think a confident mind is very important in prelims because the paper can be so difficult that you can lose faith in yourself. So just developing confidence, I think, is one of the most important things a prelims test does.
Okay, all right. So like when it comes to, I mean, like some other section for the examination, like since you are a person who has graduated in English honors, right? For you, the language paper may not have been as difficult like as other people. But at the same time, there are people like who have qualified in all the stages of the exam. But like there are some people like who fail in the this particular language papers. I mean, like which is considered to be just qualifying paper in the mains exam. So what do you think, like how difficult or how easy the language paper is?
Two things here. Despite being a literature graduate, I took the English language paper very seriously. I bought this book which had solved papers of the language papers for past 5 years. So not just for English and then Hindi. Unfortunately, I had lost touch with Hindi since class 10 of school. So I took these papers seriously enough to solve previous year papers. If not solve, at least go through the questions. I started reading a Hindi newspaper also towards the end. So I would suggest just take it seriously, but it does not need too much effort. I think bare minimum effort can sail you through this paper.
Right. Okay. And apart from this, many people think that like, skipping current affairs section for the prelims or for the mains examination, or like, many people are not serious with the current affairs preparation. So when it comes to reading the current affairs, which newspapers did you refer and how frequently you used to read the newspaper? What was your strategy to cover the newspaper section and the current affairs as such?
So I realized that both prelims, mains and even the interview, the kind of current affairs you need is a very holistic picture. Very rarely will they ask you a very granular data. They will expect that you have a holistic picture of what's happening. For that, I read the newspaper every day without fail. I read the Hindu, and for my interview, I read 2-3 more newspapers. But what I did was in the evening, I would first open a few online websites which upload current affairs daily. Right? So first I would read those and then I would pick up the newspaper. So the articles which those websites has already covered, I would not read that in the newspaper. And that would really save a lot of time. That way my newspaper time got down to 30 minutes almost. So that is perhaps one thing people could try.
Okay, all right. So when it comes to devoting your time on a daily basis on current affairs, so how much time did you devote to cover the current affairs section?
I think 1 to 1.5 hours every day.
Yeah. All right. So how did you test yourself that like you are learning the current affairs properly?
So one of the ways was that, for example, if in June 2019 there is a news about, let's say, the CAG or the National Green Tribunal, and I've studied that right then. Then in another 2 months there is again a news about these same institutions. So before reading, I would first try to recollect if I remember what I read before. That was one of the ways, because current affairs is mostly recurring. The same institutions, the same events keep happening. And the second thing was tests, of course. If I was doing well in tests, I would feel that I've been preparing decently, and if not, then I would pull up my socks a bit.
Okay, all right, all right. So when it comes to Lukman IAS, right? So like how Lukman IAS has helped you in your preparation? Which papers, like you like did well when it comes to help from the Lukman IAS side?
So for my ethics GS4, I knew that this is a scoring paper, but I need to give it my 110%. So I enrolled in Lukman IAS for the same, for the test series, and also their material which was provided to us. So I relied on that extensively. I made my ethics notes out of your material, and I wrote like tests after prelims. And the evaluation was pretty great. It helped me analyze myself, and I'm quite thankful for the same.
Okay, thank you so much. And so like when it comes to, I mean, like fresh aspirants, there may be many people who will watch this video after this, right? There are you know, school pass out students, there are, you know, college going students. So what message you want to give them if they aspire for a career in civil services?
I would say firstly, do it only for yourself, not to impress anyone, not to prove a point, but just do it for your own self. Second would be discipline. I think not motivation and not any sort of grand idea, just be disciplined and consistent. And third, I would say know your strengths and weaknesses. I know it sounds very cliche, but it's true. The syllabus is limited, there are previous year papers, but you need to know where you lack and where you are strong so that you can devise your own strategy, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah. So this is Saloni. So after this, like, Saloni will be available also, I mean, like for some time maybe to interact with the students of Lukman IAS, right? So we will invite her in future sessions. Thank you so much for your time today and for like interacting with us and with the students at large who are going to watch this video later. Thank you so much for coming here and attending this session.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yes. So one more thing I would like to ask Saloni here, that you joined ethics test series, right? So there are 7 different tests in that test series. How did you find the quality of questions, and how it helped Ansari sir's guidance in that discussion papers and along with that evaluation also? What nature of questions as well as the guidance by Ansari sir, how it helped in your ethics paper preparation?
Talking about the papers, what I really appreciate was that they got progressively more difficult. I could feel the difference from the first test till it kept getting tougher.
Yes.
So that was really nice. It helped acclimatize to the expectation of the paper.
Yes.
Coming to evaluation, what I really appreciate was that it was very detailed. It did not feel like it's done just for the sake of it. There was a lot of care. And in one of the tests, I also did not score very well. So I was really, but I'm glad that there was an explanation given as to why number was not being given. So I think that was pretty great. And even the discussion videos are very conceptually clear. They did help me clear a few doubts, and I'm truly grateful. Thank you.
Yes, yes, yes. And finally, you know, many a times what happens is UPSC is very unpredictable in devising those question papers. And this year itself, GS4 paper, so it was very, let's say, unpredictable, unconventional kind of case studies were asked.
Yes.
And what was your experience when you saw that so many lengthy case studies were asked? You know, the students, what they require to have a kind of, let's say, qualities to deal with such kind of unpredictability in UPSC examination?
It's true, because when we got the GS4 paper, we were all very shocked that what really happened. So many case studies, and also not just the length, even the content of case studies is very tricky. So that was quite a problem. From my experience, I was very nervous in the sense that I thought that even if I've done the best test series and even if I'm scoring well, that does not mean I will do well. So I did not allow myself to get complacent. I was expecting the worst. I'll put it that way. So which is why when it came, I wasn't too shocked. I was like, okay, this is how UPSC is. It will be unpredictable. So I think it's mostly about your mindset. You have to be prepared that this is the toughest examination and they will make it challenging. So I suppose just
okay. So you prepared yourself. Your mind was flexible. Okay. So flexibility is very important for the aspirants, especially GS4 paper, ethics paper. They are actually changing the dynamics of asking this question, and Saloni here is actually epitome here. She is saying that she has been open-minded and flexible with the attitude, and surely that may have helped her in the examination also. Surely we'll wait for the marks, but yes, she may have passed with the flying colors.
I hope so.
Thank you, Saloni, and congratulations once again, and we wish you luck for your future journey also.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.